No puedes jugar boxeo es presentado por SEYER, la marca que desde 1930 viste los puños de los campeones. Por The Aquino Destinations, destinos de ensueño.
Hey, my man, what's up? It's good to see you always in shape, always smiling. It's always a blessing to talk with you.
Oh, thank you.
Where you are now? You look like in Florida. Or where you are?
I'm in Malibu. I'm in Malibu Beach.
Oh, not bad.
Living a blessed life.
Amen. Blair, let me ask you this because I truly believe that this fight, this coming fight, it could be one of the greatest fights of this 2022. What is your opinion about this fight? Let me put it this way, like analyst. Let's think about that you are not part of it. Just as an analyst, what is your opinion of your coming fight?
That it's not an easy fight. It's going to be a tough fight, and I would like as a fan or like as an analyst, I would be looking forward to it. Blair has yet to put on a show that people haven't been excited to see, regardless whether it was a win or a loss. And I think that that's what boxing needs. Boxing needs real performers, real champions, and real stars.
Definitely. You know, it's so important that you bring to the table, win or lose. I'm 56 years old. I was a fighter from Mexico in martial arts, one of the greatest fighters in Mexico. Sorry to mention, but I won, I lost. So, but in this era, it looks like a loss is like the end of career. And it's only that you win or you learn in this business, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We live in a time where people don't believe. I don't even know if they even believe in God, man.
Yeah.
People just like, oh, you got to be perfect. We want perfection. Like, look, Floyd Mayweather might have been undefeated, but Floyd was also a coward that like didn't fight a lot of great fights and robbed the fans of a lot of amazing fights that could have been made. You know, we just have to look at it for what it is. And I have nothing but respect for Floyd and everybody else that's in boxing, anybody that gets in that ring. But we have to be proud to be true fighters and get out there and expect that, like, whether it's a win or a loss, it's all about the fans. And we lost track of so much of like the fans and lost track of like fighters that needs to have charisma and fighters that need to be true figures in boxing for politics.
Yep.
And nonsense and notions that are outdated. So bad that we have Jake Paul. So bad that we have Logan Paul. You know, that can just come in here and kill it as far as like financially. Because boxing is losing its way. Never fear, Blair Flair's here.
Definitely, I agree 100% with you. And I'm going to bring some words of Oscar Valdez. He told me this like 2 years ago, before Berchelt. And he told me, hey, Floyd Mayweather is doing bad things against boxing. He's hurting boxing because he put it on the mind of the people that you need to be perfect. This is not the life. You could win, you can lose either. But it's something really bad that Mayweather mentioned. If you are not undefeated, and let's take a look of the record, you're not good at all. We had in Mexico, Julio Cesar Chavez. You know what I mean? He had 90-0 and he lost. I mean, that's the point, dear Blair.
Absolutely. We have to realize that like how God works. God goes up and down. God will take you on this magical and wonderful journey. And sometimes it's the losses that allow you to progress and be better and better than before. You know, Muhammad Ali, he's been great, but he wasn't great until he was faced up against great opposition. You know, now, and in the midst of all that great opposition, he lost to Joe Frazier.
Yeah.
Had to come back and win. But guess what? It wasn't before After he lost to Joe Frazier loses to George Foreman. And then he has to fight George Foreman, the most devastating fighter possibly of all times, and could have been easily world champion for over probably 20 years straight. You know, so he comes back at 40 something and wins the world title.
Yeah,
that's what he was. So we need to realize that, like, that is what I call greatness.
Definitely.
That people call greatness. That is what's inspiring. Not being untouched and unchallenged. That Floyd has kind of tried to pretend that is the benchmark. This is boxing. This isn't basketball. This isn't football. This is boxing, and boxing is supposed to represent the true nature of human being and human life on this planet, and that's why Blair Flair is great. Because
I have been following you since 2013 when you had your pro debut. Could you tell that this is the best version of Blair after the loss? Because I can feel this energy, more mature, more focused, and ready to go for whatever the life put in front of you.
Absolutely, and that's what it's about. You know, it's not about like, oh, you lose and that's it. No, you learn and you grow, and Blair Flair is learning and growing and changing, and made big improvements and big changes in his camp, training, in his life out inside and outside the ring. So we look forward to seeing Blair Flair put on a bigger and better show. And guess what? He's got a bigger and better opponent. And that's just what it is. Blair Flair is the great one.
Yeah, I totally agree, because when you talk about Maurice Hooker, it's going to be a huge fight. I can tell that maybe you can steal the night, because I know from deep inside this Maurice Hooker, I know you and I respect you, and you know that. So this being said, how is the feeling to be part of this fight again? You like an analyst, you told me that it's a great fight that you don't want to miss. But how is the feeling to be part? Because you can expect like fireworks.
Absolutely, and it's just being ready and prepared. And the thing is, most of my fights are main event attractions. You know, the only missing piece of my main event attraction is promoter potential. You know, it's all they have to do, as far as Golden Boy or whoever, is just promote the fight. Because like, even the fight with me and Maurice Hooker is a main event attraction.
Definitely.
And that's what we need. We need attractions in boxing. You know, Maurice Hooker is not over. He's not done. He's not old. He's not over the hill. He only had 2 losses to very good, credible fighters. And most of them was circumstantial, whether he like only had a couple like weeks to train or couldn't make something. I don't know. Most of them would be circumstantial losses, and like, so we look forward to seeing the best in Maurice Hooker coming into this fight.
Yeah,
and we the best in Blair Flair coming into this fight, and we're gonna see the main attraction, Blair Flair.
Hey Blair, when you know that you're gonna talk with Blair, you have this energy, you know what is gonna happen, but you surprise me, because I can tell you are like a way better human being. You always are a good human being, but you are mature, you are in focus. So that's why I want to talk not with the fighter. Let me ask this to the human being. What is your opinion about this great lesson that Danny Garcia showed in the ring? He showed balls to say, I'm struggling, I have these problems, these mental issues. Don't you think that human being needs to be more open to say, I'm having bad time, I'm having good time, of course, but you don't think that you need balls that like Danny Garcia to say to the world what is happening? What is your opinion as a human being, not the fighter now, the human being?
I mean, I've come out about the problems when it comes to depression.
Yeah.
Multiple times, and like I'm a big advocate on putting out the truth, because the thing is, right, we're athletes, and a lot of people look up to us, and we're not just athletes. Me, Blair Flair, is an entertainer. You know, there's a lot of people that look up to entertainers, and they can look at my life outside of like what I'm actually telling them and expect me to be just living a good life. I am living in Malibu. I mean, I do have a really good luxury car, and I live an extravagant life. And even though my career is going up and down, I do live a pretty good life. But inside the heart of the man who is Blair Flair, he battles with a lot of trauma, a lot of difficulties, a lot of problems. Blair Flair is the man of the people. And when you have people like Danny Garcia that's going through the things that he's going through, it just is something that the people need to see. You know, people need to see the truth behind all of these lies that the public want to tell, that politics want to tell, the lies that people want to tell. Like, people are still battling demons and still need to be saved, you know, and like we need to be forever growing and working to be better people, you know. And whether you want to follow Jesus or Allah or whoever, you damn sure need to follow somebody.
Yeah.
This world that we're living in is full of trauma, it's full of pain, and I do nothing but pray for anybody and everybody that may be going through what they're going through, and people like Danny Garcia that comes out to show people his ugly truth, to show people what's inside of him is something to be honored and not ashamed.
You know, you touch my soul, you touch my heart. Definitely, you are better and better and better. And you know, I know you see forever. So I want to tell you this. You need to close the interview. Whatever you want to say, please feel free to say something that no one asked you, maybe a message. But again, you touch my soul in a very complicated moment, because we are human beings and we need to be brave in order to show what is happening. So this being said, thanks for your time, but close the interview like the thing that you want to say. I mean, I'm not going to ask you nothing. Feel free to close from the bottom of your heart.
It's Blair Flair, the most exciting man in boxing. Whatever you're going through, whatever pain that you have gone through in life, just know that it's not over. Blair Flair is here, and Blair Flair is coming to put on a great show for the fans all around the world. So stay tuned. Okay, so you don't want to miss Maurice Hooker against Blair Cobbs. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it, and believe me, God have something for you, big things for you. Absolutely. Thank you so much. God bless from your Mexican amigo. Take care.
No puedes jugar boxeo. Fue presentado por SEYER, la marca que desde 1930 viste los puños de los campeones. Y por Aquino Destinations, destinos de ensueño.